All right, guys, this is part two. Part two. I just had an emergency phone call I had to take care of. So this is math still. Part two, we're going to pick up where we were just leaving off at the end of that last video. So we're on number 13, okay? And we had drawn this line right there. See it? Straight angle. Now, the vertex goes down here in this center hole here, okay? The green line, one of the lines always has to go through the 180. This is either 30 or 150. Well, it's an acute angle, right? Come back to our page. Oh, wait, acute has to be between 1 and 89. So it can't be, let's look at it again. Can't be the 150. This is 30 degrees. And right there, that's how we knock out those problems. All right, let's look on the back page. You with me? All right. Guys, it says use appropriate tools. What is the measure of the angle of the yellow hexagon pattern block? All right, so if we have those hexagon pattern blocks, you remember those, right? It would look like this. We would put it in there. Notice how that angle, right? What kind of angle is that? Yeah, it's obtuse. They're all obtuse. So this hexagon has these 6 obtuse angles in it, okay? And if we were in class, we'd actually make a mark on it, and we'd say there's an angle right there. You see that? Right? Okay. But we're not going to use these blocks because on the day of the test, we're not going to have them. So what do? I've got to figure out how to measure it. What did we just learn how to do? I got papers flying everywhere. What the heck? Okay. Check this out. Protractor. Watch this. Take this line. This is where a lot of us have to be really careful and make sure the line is on the line. Sometimes we go scribble scrabble. That's why we have this beautiful straight edge on our protractor or a ruler. Vertex, the 2 rays are meeting right there. Watch what I do. I'm going to I want the line that I drew to cut through these big numbers here. This guy is going to go on the vertex. I'm going to get him on that line right there. Vertex in there. One line has to cut through this 180 line. This guy's going through 60 or 120. Well, what is that angle right there? What do we call this? What's this guy called? He's called an obtuse. They didn't ask us that. They want the measure. So let's look at it again. 60 or 120? Yeah, 120 degrees. How many 30-degree angles are in a circle? What do we know about a circle? Going all the way around that circle is what? What's the measure? 360 degrees. Your Ferris wheel, your carousels, your merry-go-rounds, carousels, your teacups, right? They do a full circle, 360. So how many of these 30s would we need? Well, let's do some math. 30 times 10 would be 300. 30 times 11 would be another 30, would be 330. 30 times 12, another 30, would be 360. So we're going to need 12 of those. We're going to need 12 angles, all right, to get those 12 angles. All right. Man, it interrupted. I don't know. I skipped 15. Haha. So, all right, let's go back to this one. So we need 12 of the 30-degree angles. We need 12 of the 30-degree angles to get up to there. All right. So again, we're using our math knowledge. We're using our repeated addition. We're using our knowledge of a circle as a 360. Okay. Check this out. What is the measure of the smaller angle formed by the clock hands when it is 5 o'clock? This goes back to Wednesday's lessons, right? So here's our angle right there. What kind of angle is that? First thing you want to ask yourself, is it a straight? Nope. Right? Nope. It's either acute or obtuse. And there's another angle that we'll learn down the road, but let's focus on those 4. This is an obtuse. So what's the measure? All right, well, we could go back to our knowledge of the clocks that we did the other day, but why not pull out this ruler? Check this out now. Make that line long. I'm going to find my vertex. One line has to go, when we do the vertex, one line has to go, remember, through the 180. The other one is going to cut through down here. And I didn't draw it long enough, so I'm going to go back and draw it a little longer. It's okay to go into that other problem. We've done it all year. Vertex. All right. Oh, it looks like it's cutting through 30 or 150. Well, if your choices were 30 or 150 degrees, right? Process of eliminate here. It's an obtuse angle. It can't be the 30. It's got to be the 150 degrees. How many unit angles? So a unit angle is 1 degree. make up the smaller angle formed by the hands of a clock when it is 3 o'clock. Let's think about our clock, right? 12, 3, 6, 9. 3 o'clock is going to be a what? Look at Wednesday's math pages. What does 3 o'clock show us? 90-degree right angle square corner. 1/4, right? All kinds of things. If I want the fraction, 1/4. If I want the degree, the measure, it's 90 degrees. If I want the name, it's a right angle square corner. Veronica purchased a rug with a length of 16 feet and a width of 4 feet. Right away, as soon as we see this, we see length, we see width. This has nothing to do with our measurements. This is a review problem. 1/4 of the rug is purple and the rest is blue. What is the area of the blue part of the rug? Ooh, what is the area? So area equals length times width. If we've forgotten that, go back to that reference sheet, study it, and memorize it. So let's plug in our numbers here, right? They gave us the length, 16. They gave us the width. We don't know the area, so 16 times 4. Get me an answer. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 1 plus 2, 64. And your answer is 64 feet. Bam. All right, number 19, a little higher order thinking, that hot question, okay? Do a little adjusting here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. The hands of a clock form a 120-degree angle. Name 2 different times it could be. Okay, so this one's a little bit more trickier, okay? So this was 150 degrees, right? We could do some thinking here. I'm going to give you a little hint right here. So when you look at the clock, look at that clock, that's great. When you look at the clock, there's 12, right? There's 12. So what we learn is that when we look at this clock, 360 divided by 12, I'm going to walk you through this one. Check this one out. Okay? All right, let's get back to it. Let's watch this now. You ready? So when we're talking about a clock, right, there's 12 numbers on the clock. You with me on that? Okay. So if you do 360 divided by 12, you find out that each hand from 12 to 1, 30 degrees. From the 1 to the 2 o'clock, from the 1 to the 2 number, that would be a 30-degree angle. Here, 30-degree angle. So watch what we can do here. We could say that this could be 4 of these, so it could be 4 o'clock, right? That's one way it could be. Okay. All right. You could even say it's 8 o'clock. There you go. So play around with that one as you look at your analog clock. Just remember that every time it goes from the 12 to the 1 to the 2, that's a 30-degree angle. All right, the clock reads 9 o'clock. What is the angle measure? Oh, come on, now check this one out. Bam, what kind of angle is that? Go back to your angles. Is it a straight? Is it a obtuse or acute? No, 90 degrees. It's a right angle. It's not a straight angle. All right, it's not a full circle, right? 360 would be all the way around, and it's not a 270. We'll talk about what that is later on. Number 21, how many 60-degree angles are in a 360? 60 times what would equal 360? What I do is I multiply all these by 60. Right? Well, is 12 times 60 going to equal 360? No. Is 10 times 60? No. The best one here is 6 times 60. You with me on that one? That's a way to show your work there. And yet you have knowledge already. This is going to be a 180. This is going to be a 360. This equals 600. This one equals 720 because 12 times 6. See that? All right. So knock that out. Now let's look at our homework page. This is the page I want you to take pictures of. Look at their example. They're not doing it the way we are with our protractor. Okay, so what I want you to do is to find the measure of the angle. Do not use pattern blocks. I want you to use your protractor to get the degrees. Okay? All right. So let's walk through. We're going to talk about each of these angles first. What kind of angle is that? First of all, as I look at this, there are no other angles here that are right angles or straight angles. Okay, so there's no 90 and there's no straight. So let's talk about that. Acute. What's this guy? Acute. What's this guy? Obtuse. Now, that didn't give you the measurement now. Now, you need to go back and take your protractor. We're going to do one of these together. Take your protractor and figure out what they are. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do. I take one line, draw it longer. Here's my vertex. Take my paper. You're allowed to manipulate your paper. The vertex goes in the center of the circle. Put that line there. See what this guy's cutting through, 60 or a 120. It's a 60-degree angle. Okay? So your job is to do 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. By the way, I'm not going to tell you what 4, 5, and 6 are. You're going to figure that one out. They're either acute or obtuse because I see no straight or no right angles. So you have 5 problems to do on the front. On the back, let's tackle that together. Let's go through some. Okay. All right. Make sure we can see it. I know. A round classroom table is made from 5 identical wedges. What is the measure of each angle formed at the center of the classroom table? Well, they're talking about a round table. Round. Going all the way around is a 360. They have 5 identical angles. So do 360 divided by 5. Get me the answer. Long division, guys. Do it on your line paper. How many of these unit angles does the smaller angle of a smaller pattern block turn through? Okay. Well, this would be, it's a 30-degree angle, so it's going to be 30 unit angles. Because remember, unit angles equal 1 degree. So we just did that one right there. That one's a little silly to me, but we just need to remember that a unit angle is 1 angle, is 1 degree. A unit angle is 1 degree. Mario cut a circular pizza, into 9 equal slices. Equal slices. He put a slice of pizza on each of 5 plates. Ooh, what is the measure for the angle of the slices that are left? Whoo, all right, put a star by. We got a couple steps. First thing is it's a circular pizza, so we know it's a 360. He cut it into 9 equal slices, so the first thing you have to do is 360 divided by 9. If you go back to Wednesday's paper, you already have that answer somewhere on there. Find it. If not, do the work now. But then it says he took 5 of those slices. Once you figure out this one, that's going to tell you the degree for each slice. He takes out of those 9 slices, he puts 5 slices on plates. What's the measure that are left? So now you're going to do the 9 minus 5. What does that equal? 4. So what does that measurement equal? So take 360 divided by 9, you're going to get a degree. Once you do that, take that 4, that's 4 slices at those degrees. What's your answer? Number 10, how many 30-degree angles are there in a 150-degree angle? Use repeated subtraction to solve. Draw a picture to justify your solution. I'm not really worried about the picture here. We could talk about that. But what they're saying is I'm going to turn my paper so we can do the repeated 150. And we're going to take the repeated subtraction of 30-degree angles. 150 minus 30, 120. Minus 30, regroup, 90. Minus 30, 60. Minus 30, 30. Minus 30, 0. So how many times did we subtract that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it took us 5 times to subtract that. Now you might say, Mr. Coletti, okay, it took 5 30-degree angles. Why couldn't we do multiplication? Totally agree. They asked us to do repeated subtraction. It's just to have that other strategy. So we got 10 done. So you're going to do 7 and 9 because 8 and 10 are done. Matt's parents pay him $5.50 for each half hour he babysits his sister plus a $2 tip. If Matt made $18.50 for how long did he babysit? Well, let's figure this one out. Okay, so $5.50 is 1 hour, right? Or for half hour. Ooh, I read it wrong. Half hour. Another $5.50, another half hour. All right, I'm going to get my line paper here. So $5.50 and $5.50. 5 and 5 is 10. That's $11, so that's a half hour and a half hour. He does another $5.50. That's another half hour. Now he's at $16.50. And he was at $18.50, so there's his $2 tip to get to $18.50. So how long did he babysit for? 1 half, 1 half, 1 half. So what's a half plus a half? Yeah. So he babysat 1 hour, 30 minutes. Put a star by this one. Check it off. 11 is done. 12. Higher order thinking. If a clock face reads 1 o'clock, how many hours must pass for the hands to form a straight angle? Ooh. All right. Let's do this one together. I love this one. Here. All right. Okay. Something's on my screen. Hopefully it's not on your screen. Okay. So it's reading 1 o'clock. So I'm going to go to my clock. See, it's at 1 o'clock. You see it? They want us to get to a straight angle. So watch where the straight angle is. Do we have a straight angle yet? Nope. Boom, there's our straight angle. Okay. All right, see our straight angle? All right. So let's see. It's here. So 1, 2, we want to get to a straight angle. So let's go. From 1 o'clock is 1 o'clock. Is 2 o'clock a straight angle? Is 3 o'clock? Is 4 o'clock? That's obtuse. Is 5? Nope, it's obtuse. Is 6 o'clock a straight angle? Yes, it is. So it took 5 hours. 5 hours for 6 o'clock to come along. Sorry about that one. I goofed that one up at first. Forgive me. All right. So Shirley uses pattern blocks to measure the straight angle. Select all the combinations of pattern block angles that Shirley could use to measure the angle. Okay. So she's going to measure the straight angle. That's 180 degrees. 6 small angles on the small pattern block. Well, the small pattern block would be 30 degrees. So 6 times 30, 180. We're going to check that one off. 1 large angle and 1 small angle on the large pattern block. So 120 and 160. 120 plus 60, 180. Notice how I'm showing my work right above them. 1 large angle on the large pattern block, that's a 120. And 3 small angles on the small. 3 of those, 30 times 3, that's 90. Plus 120, not going to work. 4 small angles on the small one. So that's 4 small ones. That's 4 times 30, 120. And 1 small angle on the pattern block. Small angle on the large pattern block is a 60. That's going to give us 180. 2 large angles on the large. So if we got 2 of those, that's 120 and 120. We just went way past 180. So this all is about finding straight angles to get to 180. And guess what? We just finished 13. So your homework is to do number 9 and 7. And on the front, I want you to measure 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right? I know this was 2 parts. I apologize. We'll talk soon. Here comes your signs. Later.